Hi everyone, it's Iggy from Iggy Creates back with part 4 of my modding series. If you haven't watched the first 3 videos, please go back and do so or else you'll be so lost and frustrated. Again, if you're not a modder, feel free to comment below on what kind of mods you want to see. If you managed to get through my last 25-minute video on the complexities of model swapping, congrats and thank you for bearing through it. Make sure you're comfortable doing that first because I'm going through a lot of steps here fairly quickly. In today's tutorial, I'll be showing you how to import 3D models from outside of Animal Crossing. If you saw my Instagram post, I have imported the Great Deku Tree, Masterswords, Genshin Swords, Torii gates, and a couple other things. Through this modding journey, I met a wonderful game designer named Alizee. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. She's been making my 3D models for me to use in the game, and it's been so exciting. So I'll link you guys to her YouTube. Make sure you go check it out. She has this cool augmented reality passport thing for her island. Very interesting stuff. So today we'll be using the Drago suitcase she made for Harry Potter and choosing an item to replace with it in game. If you don't know how to make 3D models yourself or don't have a friend that can make it, then you can get some free ones from sketchfab.com. I'll link that below too. Previously, we worked on DAE models, but when you start importing models from outside of the game, they can come in many different forms like FBX or STL. A lot of these files will open in Blender still, but you have to make sure you export it as the DAE so you can bring it back into Toolbox. So I've already downloaded the file from Alizee. So this is the suitcase. All the stuff is in here, and in this case, it's an FBX file. This file here is a 3D object FBX. So let's go ahead and open up Blender. First thing you want to do, delete the cube. Go to File, Import, and instead of DAE, we know it's an FBX file. So right here, it's in my downloads, and we're gonna open this up. So we have it right here. A quick tip is I would import a model that you've exported from previous mods as a reference. In my case, I did some player mods, so I have the player model already exported, and I'm gonna use it as a reference for the size. So let me grab that file. I suggest you guys make a 3D models folder so you can keep track of everything. So here is the player, and you can see my suitcase is a bit tiny. So let's move the player over to the right. Just use it as a reference. Okay, so that's on the right side. We're gonna highlight the suitcase. We can't press A in this sense because that would highlight this too. So I'm just gonna select it like that, and then press S so I can scale it. So we're gonna bring it way bigger. So maybe like that height compared to the player would be okay. I'm not sure. It'll just be a lot of back and forth. But everything's already centered. I'm gonna delete this object. Right click, delete. So that's gone. And just to be safe, I'm gonna right click this object and set origin to 3D cursor. Alright, so we have that. Hopefully it's the right size. And then what you're gonna do is go to File, Export as DAE. That way we can open it up in Toolbox. We're gonna name this Drago suitcase. Save it on the desktop and export. So now that we have that file, we have to think about what type of object we're going to replace. Again, just for simplicity, I'm going to use a CJ model since there's no variations. It's just easier to modify these items. So this time, let's use the angelfish. I'm going to open that up. Okay. But yeah, when you're picking an object, it's better to pick an object about the same size as the model you're putting in. That way you're not clipping through it and it's more believable. So open this up, open up the model. You could see the angelfish model here. Now here's where it gets tricky. When you replace the object, you're not going to select materials so that it keeps whatever material of the original item. We can't make our own materials because it's like coded into the game, or at least I don't know how yet. So it's going to retain some properties of the original item. Later on, if you replace models like star fragments, your model will have a slight glow to it, so use that knowledge to your advantage. So we're going to open up models. Here is the model for the fish. Right click it and replace. And then we have the Drago suitcase on the desktop here. So I'm going to put that in, press OK. Remember, we don't have a material file for this, so we have to uncheck this and rely on the original material here. Okay, so you can kind of see that the textures of the fish are on the suitcase. That's not what we want for the final, but it's okay for now. So let's open up these so you can see all the parts. This is the object, it's highlighting this whole thing. And right now it's connected to these two materials, but as you can see, the M base is not connected to anything. So we can actually just delete the M base. So right click, delete. Now this mesh is connected to M angelfish, which has 4 different textures here. Alright. We're gonna go to textures next here. And instead of deleting them, what I would just do is right click it. This is an ALB, so we want to replace it with the ALB that came with the model. So here's the textures. Remember, ALB is albedo, which is also another name for base. So this is the base material that we want here. And there's going to be different formats here. BC1's the lowest quality, and just keep it as that. Sometimes the other ones don't load properly and your models turn black. So press OK. And it's getting there, right? It looks better. You might think that you're done there, but you're not yet. So we have the albedo. Now we need the normal file. So replace that. This is the normal. Alright, so there you go. Added some texture to it. Looks pretty nice so far. Remember, we don't need the base one, so we can just delete those 3. And I'm not going to delete the OP. It might show up a little bit on the texture, but I'm not sure if that's going to mess with anything. So we'll leave it. We'll leave it alone. We'll see what it looks like in game. But the mix is where we need to change that. Mix is the shininess of it. We have to make it ourselves, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that. Okay, so going to the textures that came with the model, we have some other ones in here like roughness, metallic, and mixed AO. AO is ambient occlusion. I'm not sure what these mean. Again, I'm not a 3D modeler or know much about textures. I'm just getting by here. But we're going to need 3 of these to mix together to make that mixed texture. So you're going to need Photoshop. I don't know how to do it anywhere else. But what you do is right click the metallic one, open with Photoshop. We'll let that load. Okay. Right click roughness, open with Photoshop, let that load. And then finally the mixed AO. We'll let that load. So for each of these, you want to go to image, mode, change to RGB. Change that to RGB. And change this to RGB. Starting with roughness, this is where we're going to be pasting everything. Alright. So if you go to metallic, go to channels. You're going to see there's red, green, blue. Metallic is going to be our green layer. Sorry if I lose you guys on this. I'm not too sure what this means. But basically, we're going to mix these 3 photos to make a colored photo. So I click this as my green layer. Click right here and press Ctrl A to highlight it. And Ctrl C to copy it. Now we're copying the green layer of this, and we want to paste it on the green layer of this roughness. Roughness is like our foundation right here. So click green, and then Control V to paste it. Alright, so you can already see there's some kind of change here. Mix AO. We're gonna click blue instead. Control A, Control C to copy, and then go to blue and paste. So now if we look at the RGB, it looks funky. But if you've compared it to the mixed textures that Nintendo makes, it looks pretty much just like this. It's like really vibrant colors. So you're going to go File, Export, quick export as PNG, and then, you know, you call it mix, like suitcase mix. Save. Alright, so going back, now we have a mix layer. We can replace that and put mix. Trust me, I know it doesn't look like anything's changed, but if you don't have the mix layer, your object is probably gonna look black in the game. Alright. If you don't have Photoshop, what I've done to get by before is just take a mix texture from any other object and import it in. It's not going to look as good, but at least it won't be black. Alright, so now that we have that all in, we can do again just as normal. File, save as, and let's save this to the desktop. Save, compress, and we're done. Okay, so let's cross our fingers and see if it loads up. Let me switch out of this. Right now, I'm just transferring that file as normal to the model folder. So let's see. I know this looks different than other ways I've gone FTP, but this is just what I use. It's called FileZilla, just another way you can access your files. So here's the angelfish toy. I'm gonna drag it in. Okay, good. Sometimes it crashes, but luckily not this time. Okay, so let's load it up and see what happens. By the way, I'm really liking this capture card. It's the Genki Shadowcast. It just came out recently. It was a Kickstarter. So check them out. A really good company. And this program is free, Genki Arcade. And it really takes out the lag from the input lag from the capture card. Really easy for on-the-go thing, on-the-go content creation. Okay. So let's open up poker, actually. Need this. And I think we chose the angelfish. Okay. So we'll wait till the game loads just to make sure we don't break anything. Okay, so let's put that in. Here's our Genshin sword. Alright. Now we cross our fingers. Hopefully this works. Place the item. Oh no. Well, we got the height to work. Just not sure what happened to the rest of it. Okay. It might be because of the OP layer, honestly. I don't know how to make that yet. But what we could do is try this. I'm looking at how I made the other suitcase mod. It might be... Oh, so I used a Demikin toy. And let's see what I did with the OP layer. Maybe I just deleted it. This one looks really nice though, so I'm glad I get to show you guys this one. Maybe I just deleted the OP layer. Let's see what happens. So we're just opening it back up. We have the file and everything still. Go to textures, delete OP. Go to materials, and maybe we didn't link it. So ALB to ALB, okay. NM to NM. Mix to mix. And OP. Maybe because it has the base layer twice here. I'm going to delete this by going to remove. It's going to give you a warning that it's not supported yet. We'll see what happens. At least you can see kind of some troubleshooting here. Again, when you're doing models from outside the game, it's really like your mileage may vary a lot. So this is where the frustration starts, and you kind of just have to keep playing around until something works. Okay, so let's load that in. Put that in. And we might as well put the Harry Potter one in here too. We'll put both of them. If it doesn't work this time, really what I would do is just remake the whole thing, and instead of right clicking to replace textures, just delete all the textures and import the ones that belong to the file. That might be what I did different. Really, you just have to try different things. Sometimes if you just do the same thing exactly as before, sometimes it just works. It's quite a process. Alright, my Switch is loading up. Again, you're probably going to get some Switch crashes here and there. I'm kind of used to it by now. So nothing to be scared of. I might be a little lazy to edit this part out too, so I apologize in advance. Okay, Switch is back on, and I'm loading up the game. Win or lose, we're going to end the video after I show placing both of the objects down. As you're doing these model imports, if you find models that are made directly by Nintendo, they're actually a lot more simple to integrate into the game since they have similar file structures and all of that. So just do some research and you'll find some good stuff. Okay, so let's reconnect poker. We'll have the angelfish model, and then the Demikin model. I think that's the goldfish. So we'll make sure we put that in. Yeah, it's a pop-eyed goldfish. We'll put the model. And now we cross our fingers. Hopefully it works. Oh no! Let's see if the other one worked. Yeah, somehow this one worked. Interesting. You know what? It's bugging me now, so probably will edit this, and at least you can kind of see what I do for troubleshooting. So delete the file, unfortunately, all that work we did. It happens. We're going to reopen it. Fresh copy of it. FTR angel fish. Oh, FTR fish. Okay, here we go. Maybe I should just use a Denikin one, but you know, it's okay. This time, I wonder what would happen if we just do import, put the model in, don't use the material. Okay, let's see. Scratch that, because there won't be anything with this material. Again, this is showing you that we can't make our own material. We can't edit that. So delete that. Replace this with our model. Don't use the material. Delete the base since we don't have anything connected to that. And then we're gonna delete all these files. Okay, so everything's deleted except the text. Everything is deleted. We have to go ahead and import texture. Find the textures. So we're using base, normal, and the mix. Okay, so we'll go back to the materials, make sure that they're matching. So angelfish ALB, we're gonna choose base. NM, we'll choose the normal. Mix, we have the mix. Here, we'll remove that. Okay, so far it looks like it should work, but you never know. We'll save that to the desktop. Okay. So looking back to our Harry Potter one, I mean, it looks pretty much the same what we did. We even deleted the OP there. So I'm not too sure what's going on. Again, it just happens sometimes. So we'll close out. Reconnect. Gonna import this back in and replace it. Just checking if this is the updated one. It should be though. Okay. So going back to the game, I'm purposely leaving this out of in the edit so you can see just kind of how to troubleshoot. It's a process. I'm hoping it works this time. I don't know what's going on. The only difference I can see is instead of the angelfish material, I chose to keep the M base in this case. Hmm. The game just froze. Very strange. Maybe because I had poker connected still. I have to reload that. The last thing I can think of is exporting the material file from another model that only has ALB, mix, and normal layers. It's the OP layer that's causing issues here. So I must have saved some kind of material to use when I imported. We'll try that out if this still doesn't work. If that's the case, I'll upload the material file that I'm using for the Harry Potter model. That should help you guys out. Hopefully it doesn't freeze again. Whoa. Must be the model itself. Okay, so we're not even gonna try that. Strange. Plan C now, guys. Okay, so I'm taking this material from my Harry Potter one, gonna export it. Let's put it on the desktop. Okay, so we'll close out all instances of Toolbox. Gonna go to ACNH, mods, go to the files. Let's find the angelfish one last time. Okay, so this time we're gonna go open up the model. I'm gonna replace it just as normal with a Drago suitcase, and then with use material, we're gonna use the material that I took from the Harry Potter one. Press save, and there we go. We have the mesh, material 30, which only has 3 things, so that's good. ALB, NM, and SPM. I'll put the mix file right there. These ones, I'm going to delete all of them. Import textures, and that, again, that's going to be with the file that you downloaded. Albedo, normal, mix. BC1, good. Make sure that they're connected. This mesh is connected to material number 30, which is this right here. Material 30, ALB, choose base. NM, choose normal. SPM, choose mix. Okay. So we have all 3 files. Gonna file, save. Gonna make sure I overwrite this one. Replace it, compress, and let's try this again for the last time. Hopefully. Just to be on the safe side, I'm gonna reconnect. Go to Atmosphere, Contents, go into the Find the Model folder, and let's delete the angelfish just to make sure there's no corruption there. Gonna drag it in. Hopefully it transfers. Good. Now let's load up the game. Excuse me. Very strange though how that item just kept crashing the game. Maybe it was too big. I'm not sure. Okay. Cross your fingers that this was gonna work. Let's put out the Harry Potter one first, just for good luck here, because we know that works. That looks really nice. Okay, please. Yay, it worked! And there we go. We have another suitcase. Very cool. Just keep in mind the different materials you use are gonna change the color a bit of the final texture. I know it looked more green in the toolbox, but that's when you're gonna have to use material files that you take from other models. Just use the one I have just for trial purposes, but really you're gonna have to do some experimenting. I'm just glad it doesn't have a huge hole in the back of it now. It's an actual model and it's working. This one just didn't give me as much trouble, but you know, sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't, but this is part of it. So yeah, that's it. If this video helped you out, please like, comment, and subscribe. Share it too if you know anyone else that wants to get into modding. I also have a donation link in my description if you want to support me. It just takes a long time to do these things, so any financial support would be really appreciated. If you followed me through this series, you're a trooper. You probably have enough knowledge to get through a lot of testing yourself. It's going to be difficult, but if you apply these same concepts to other file types, you can go explore other things like changing villager dialogues, changing items so you can eat anything. Most things are possible if you just find the file type and understand how the game works. I don't think I'm going to be making any more tutorials on these subjects, but if you end up doing more research beyond what I've shown, message Mary in my Discord channel or Discord server to see if you qualify to join our modding research team. That team is really dedicated to those who want to take this further and explore different file types. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Sorry for the long video, but it'll be good for you guys to see how I troubleshoot things. And just don't give up. Good luck, guys. Bye.